I'm Tanaya White, and I am a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model.
Oh my goodness. Actually, we're recording this now, but the cover just came out yesterday, you guys. So how did it feel seeing yourself in the magazine? We're just going to start off with that.
I was crying on the floor inside of Barnes & Noble's. It was quite an experience. Like I turned my phone off. I put it on I put it on Do Not Disturb. Like I didn't want anyone to send me a picture before I saw it. And when I went in, I was like, all right, here we go. And I didn't expect to cry, like, oh my God, this is so cool. But like,
Right.
it's just a flood of emotions because I've literally been on this journey for 2 whole years. So it's like, it's finally happening. And then to me, of all people, like I'm probably, out of all the women who've tried it, I'm probably have the one with the least experience. No like modeling resume, maybe a little bit now, but it's just like I just can't believe that they decided to choose me. So I'm just so over the moon. I have a huge family. Everyone's congratulating me. Aww. My elementary school teacher congratulated me. Like I just have people out the woodworks like, hey, I saw you. That's my girl.
That's so exciting. Okay, so how did you feel? Like, so you didn't know what was going to be chosen. You didn't know if you're going to have a big picture, if you had a small picture. So what was your thoughts when you saw that you had a 2-page spread of you just like, boom? Could you hear me?
Yes, it sort of lagged just a little bit.
Okay.
It was a little nerve-wracking because like it's one thing to like be like, okay, I'm excited to be in the magazine, but it's another when it's like, okay, well, what page am I gonna have? Am I gonna have like the double whammy, or I'm just gonna have a single sheet? And I remember looking at the magazine last year, I was like, okay, well, I don't know if I'm jinxing myself. I was like, okay, well, the girl who won for the contest last year had a double pager, so maybe it's a good sign if I can get a double pager. And not only did they give me that, but they put me as the first like introduction of the swim search. So I was just wow, like y'all have me in here, but y'all really have me in here.
Oh my goodness, that is so amazing. It's so cool seeing people go through this journey, because what is it? It's like a year-long journey of figuring out who's going to be in the magazine, what shot's going to be made, and all this stuff. But this wasn't your first time around auditioning or going to be in the Sports Illustrated magazine. You actually tried last year, right?
Yes.
And you got top 16 last year. So what made you come back again? Because I don't think that any of the girls from last year that were in the top 16 came back again.
Right. So yeah, I feel so grateful because of the Sweet 16 women who from the 2019 competition, there was like a handful of us who reapplied. And of the ones who like the editor team knew, they only brought me back. So I've immediately felt so much pressure. I'm like, crap, because like I really thought they were gonna make it and maybe not me. So not to talk down to myself, but like I really just I was rooting for my girls. And and I was honestly hoping we would all come back, but they only chose me to come back. So I already felt like so much pressure to just to carry like the bounce back or whatever, the comeback. And so when I went through the whole process again for this year's issue or this year's competition, it was different because like every time you have a different group of girls, it's always going to be a different dynamic. I will say this year's group of the Sweet 17 that they chose are full of energy, full of personality. Like
Kathy and Christy are in there.
Exactly. And then we also have Ashley as well. So like it was just always a moment in that group chat. But I think also like because I had the experience from the year prior, a lot of the girls were coming to me for advice like, hey, do you know when they're going to announce something? How was it last year? What did you guys go through last year? Are they going to bring us back to Miami like they did last year. And so I was sort of like a guiding light sometimes. But honestly, each year is different. You never know what's going to happen. And as much as I tried to like help calm everyone's nerves and be like, hey guys, yeah, so they're usually going to respond around this time, this week, at this hour. This year was just completely like different. So there's no way for me to even sort of calm my own nerves because I'm like, wait, we would have heard from them by now. We haven't. All right. Oh wait. Oh, now they're gonna announce top 6. Oh, I thought it was gonna be soon. Like it was just a whole different experience.
I know. And then the pandemic happened, and then I was like delayed even more. So everyone's like, okay.
Yes, I think that the downside of the pandemic is, for one, we don't have a launch week.
Yeah.
For two, it extends the, I don't want to call it torture, but this process is just so excruciating because you just want to know who won.
Oh yeah.
Because of COVID, we had to extend it even longer. So this originally should have been out in May. They always launch in May. So the fact that we're in the end of July and we're finally, about to figure out, coming to the end of what's going to happen and who's going to be the next rookie. Like, it's just like, this has been like a very long-winded experience, and I am ready no matter what happens. I'm happy for whoever wins, but we need to close this book.
Girl, I feel you. That is like with the Miss USA pageant, because it's usually in May as well. And now they're thinking it's going to be in November. So it's just like elongated. I mean, it's not as suspenseful as I feel like your position is, because it could literally be anybody's ball game. Like, it's so nerve-wracking. Okay, and you said you were one of the least experienced models. Why did you say that, or why do you think that is?
Well, I was in the defense sector. I worked for one of the top 3 aerospace agencies in the world. They made ammunitions for militaries across the globe. It was the coolest job ever. I got to travel the world. And so I was an office girl. Like, I was in 9 to 5 in the office, and everyone else who, like, you walk into the W Hotel where the competition is and you see all of these drop dead gorgeous women, and you're like,
oh yeah,
I'm out of my league. Okay, well, it was nice try, Tanaya.
I thought the same thing. I was actually so nervous, and even before I became like Miss Indiana, people were like, oh my gosh, there's like Miss USA girls here. And I was like, I have no shot. Like, a Miss USA girls here, like, oh my, I'm done. And now I'm like in the shoes of like one of those people that I put so high on a pedestal, like, we're all human.
Yes. And I think that also speaks volumes that, like, if you try, you'll never know. Like, it's not just about your experience, and it's not just about who you know. Like, sometimes it really is about heart and courage.
100%. And so you had this 9 to 5 job and you quit. Did Sports Illustrated or like the Swim Search kind of push you to quit your job? Not like push you to quit your job, but inspire you to maybe try a different route?
They did. So after my first year getting to the Sweet 16, I was devastated. I was so close. I didn't make it into the magazine. But I knew in my heart, I just had to give it one more try. I just knew it. Because I was so close. And so we found out who made it to the next round in February. So my lease was up at the end of February. I decided not to renew my lease. I moved an hour away in with my parents in Annapolis, from Silver Spring to Annapolis, which extended my commute in my office job by double. So now I was commuting an hour one way. And I didn't tell anyone at my job, obviously, like, hey, I'm getting ready to quit, but I saved up for like 6 or 7 months, and I saved up enough money to last me about a year, so that when I did quit my job, which I did in September, I would have a year to try full force, like without anything to hold me back or, any issues. So that's what I did. And, about 1 month after I quit my job, I was featured in Victoria's Secret. And so that...
Wait! What?
Yes!
Did you have an agency at this time, or like, how did they reach out to you? How did that happen?
So I was with Click Philadelphia, but I actually got featured through a connection that I have. So one of my friends owns a swimwear line. And
Mm.
so Victoria's Secret does this thing where they'll partner with smaller brands and featured. And so my friend asked me, hey, do you want to, shoot for me? I have this opportunity to partner with Victoria's Secret. I can't guarantee that they're going to select the photos of you because I have a lot of different models in my swimwear that I'm going to send them. But would you like? I was like, sure, yeah. Like, I love swimwear. Like, I love modeling. Like, this perfect. Like, either way, thank you for considering me.
Right.
And fast forward, they put me on their app and on their Facebook, and it was just so cool.
That's insane. That's literally
Yeah.
1 month after you quitting your 9 to 5. Like, do you think that would have happened still if you didn't quit your 9 to 5?
I think it would have, because
Mhm.
it wasn't directly correlated to like me being with an agency. It was just sort of me
Right.
like being in side hustle mode with modeling. So I
Right.
think it still would have happened, but I don't think that other opportunities I've had would have transpired if I didn't have that moment happen.
I see what you're saying. So how did you turn it into like a side hustle into your full force going for it mode?
That was a great question. I think about it now since I don't have that job anymore, but like I would take a lot of sick days off if I had like a last minute shoot that a client wanted me for. I would ask to work from home, but I wouldn't really be at home. I'd be like on set. Like I used all my PTO. Like I was really finessing the system to work both ways until I could just completely, jump the gun.
Mhm. That's so funny. So did you ever move, or do you still live in Maryland?
I still live in Maryland. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure you've probably had this experience growing up. Like living with your parents is sometimes a challenge. They
Yeah.
can really, get on your nerves
They test
sometimes.
you.
But my parents are, yes, they're so loving though. And even though my parents themselves are full of energy too, and I'm
Mhm.
more of like a calm, reserved, like it takes a lot more for me to be like, ah. So like sometimes it's just a lot. And it's like, Mom, can you please leave me alone for a second? But they've been so supportive. And even though they really were worried at first about me and my career transition, just because it's not a stable career path, once
Mhm.
they saw things sort of kicking off, they're like, okay, well, it looks like you're in a good place. You're doing everything right. You're setting yourself up for success. You're saving your money.
Mhm.
Let's do this. We got you.
Yeah, that's awesome. So did any bigger agencies reach out to you at all, or have you tried to go to any?
So right around the time of the Victoria's Secret thing, I had a meeting with Wilhelmina, and so they signed me basically on the spot. And
That's
then
awesome.
I also signed with a local agency here in DC,
Which one?
the Artist Agency.
Okay, that's a good one. Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I know because I lived in DC.
Yes. I
Yeah.
didn't know. Wait, so where are you from originally?
So I'm from Indiana.
Okay.
So like Midwest, kind of small town girl, I guess. Like everybody knows each other, get that kind of vibe. So going to DC was like a culture shock, but I loved it. Did you love, because you went to Georgetown,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. I loved it. Actually, after I graduated from the University of Maryland, I went back home to Connecticut. But then once I got into Georgetown, I just stayed here and I never left. Like I love everything about the district. I don't think I'll ever leave. Well, maybe for New York or LA for a little bit, but I definitely see myself raising a family in like the DC area.
I love it. It's fun. It's so forward thinking. Like stuff that happens there is the first place that happens.
Yeah.
Like stuff happens there and then it trickles to the rest of the country, which
Yes.
it's crazy to be a part of history. I feel like living in DC or living close to DC is like literally experiencing what is about to happen to the country, what is about to be in like the history books. It's
Right.
cool.
Yeah, we got firsthand experience of everything.
Yeah, it's amazing. And so I also read about you being kind of like a mental health advocate. So
Yes.
how did that come about?
So, growing up, I suffered with depression,
Mm,
and at one point, I was suicidal.
mhm.
And around 15 years old, I lost a dear friend to suicide. And so, it's always been just uh, something that has always been close and near and dear to my heart. Actually, when I was in college, believe it or not, I started getting bullied by my roommate, which was a whole nother situation, but that inspired me to develop a advice column for depressed, suicidal, and teenagers and young adults, and also those who've been bullied. And so I had that advice column for about 2 years. It was really fun, and I think I might bring it back. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm all about mental health, and making sure that you can love yourself and live your best life.
So where did you put the column at? Was it like on Instagram or Facebook or a website?
Yeah, it was a website. It was called Brazen Backbone, and I hope to bring it back soon.
Yeah, I would love to share it and like just talk to people about it and promote it because like you just said, you had a crazy roommate in college or someone that bullied you in college. I feel like roommates, yeah, I know several people with that situation. I actually had a few roommate situations, one in college and one out of college, and it's hard because that's the person you're living with. That's the person that literally consumes your life. And what is something what are like maybe 3 things that you put in your column for advice when people were dealing with somebody that lived close to them that were also bringing them down?
That's such a good question. I think that if you can't talk it out, which is something that I tried to do with my roommate, then you
Mhm.
just have to get out. It's only, you can't have peace if you're the only person who wants peace. And another person who has, negative intentions towards you and who can't change that mindset is never going to change. And so you really have to protect your own self, your own spirit by getting out of that situation, which is what I had to do. Unfortunately, I loved the room that we were in, but I ultimately decided I had to move out and find a different roommate. My new roommate was so amazing, love her to bits. But it when it comes to situations like that, especially when you're in close quarters with someone or you see them every single day,
Mhm.
you really have to have the courage to have a conversation. You really have to address the problem head on. You can't just hope and wish that it's going to go away. And
Right.
that's how I used to be growing up. And I think that that moment with that particular person really helped me to find my voice and my confidence, because sometimes you really just have to put your foot down and say, no, I'm not going to tolerate this.
You do. That was great advice because I wish I would have done some of those things. Like I had a roommate and we were roommates for way too long. Like one of us could have moved and it didn't happen. And I
Yeah.
wish that we would have taken that step to just move before things escalated because I feel like I feel like it's kind of a woman thing to hold in our feelings because we don't want to offend somebody else, and it builds
That,
up and builds up and builds up, and then it just
yes,
explodes.
explodes. Yes. Don't let it get to the explosion.
Do not. The explosions are always terrible. Like,
Yes.
oh my goodness. It's just not worth the drama. And like, I hate drama too. So I don't know. That's why I didn't want to bring it up in the first place.
Right. But it's sort of, once your back is against the wall, you just have to.
You do. You're right. That's that's great advice. I also want to ask a question about in high school with your friend passing. Do you think that with both of you being depressed, do you think that you guys kind of fed into each other's depression, or do you think that you guys helped each other? Because I want to know. I've talked with several people that have been depressed, and
Mhm.
I feel like I went through a stage, but it wasn't like diagnosed. So I don't know if it was as severe, but do you think that the people that you surround yourself with feed into that or help you get out of that?
I think from my own experience and with my friend Steve, who was the one who passed away,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. I didn't know he was depressed. And
Oh gosh.
no one knew that I was. It wasn't until after I graduated high school and I like wrote on my blog about how I went through these situations that people were like, "Hey, I'm so sorry. I had no idea you were that, sad and felt alone." I think that that's one of the things that does come with depression. You hide it. And
Yeah.
sometimes the people who you find to be like the happiest and the funniest and like the most quirky are the ones who are actually hurting the most inside. So with him, he was like a friend who I considered to be like really goofy
Mm,
and fun and rambunctious, and I had no idea that he was hurting that much inside. And if I knew, I think maybe we could have helped each other.
right. Hmm. What do you think, like going through that experience and it being hard and not really knowing until it happened, what would you tell people just to remind their friends or to talk to their friends about? Because, I love my friends, and if I don't know something, you don't know what you don't know. So what is it that some people could do to maybe reach out to friends just to make sure they're okay? Like, not saying something's wrong, but just to make sure something might not be wrong.
I think it's really important to let your friends know that you're there for them, because I think a lot of times we see our friends, we see how they're living, and we don't want to burden them with our own pain. And so I think, in something that I started doing after my experience and seeing other people with similar mental health issues, I let them know every now and then, hey, just to let you know, I was thinking of you today. Would love to see how you're doing, and if you ever need a single thing, I'm here for you. Like, please do not ever hesitate to call me. I love you, miss you, blah, 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 blah. And I feel that really goes a long way, because sometimes your friend will be like, hey, actually, yeah, I went through this really bad breakup, and like, I don't know what to do. I feel so lost. Or you have another person who's like, hey, actually, yeah, I've been having like really strong bouts of anger, and I don't know how to handle it. And like, I felt like I lashed out at someone and I hurt them. Like, what would you like? It really can just open up the doors and open up a conversation, and really help you to actually deepen your friendships. So I think that touching base here and there is really good.
Yeah, that's a great point. I had somebody else on this podcast who was going through infertility struggle. And I guess it's similar to depression, because it's something that people don't really talk about. You don't really talk about, like, hey, I had a miscarriage, or hey, like, I can't get pregnant. It's something that we were talking about, is really, you're shamed in society for not being able to produce children. And she was saying she just wished her friends would reach out and just ask how she's doing, not say anything else, but just check in on her. She said that was one thing that's probably the hardest, knowing that people don't know how to talk to her, or people are afraid to talk to her. So that was
Yeah.
great advice that you just gave.
Yeah. And I feel like with the times we're now, like, everyone's really like pushing for open conversations, whether it be
Yeah.
something sensitive like infertility or mental health, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. If we talk about it more and have more public conversations, we'll be able to understand each other and help each other when it does come time and you do need that support. I'll be able to identify, be like, hey, you know what, she's going through something right now, let me make sure I check on her and let her know I'm here. I
Yeah.
think it's we're in a place of healing, I think, on all aspects, as long as we keep those conversations going.
We really are. I've seen Instagram turn into such a, how do I word this? Like, I'm blanking, but like a flex, like people, like a fake lifestyle almost, like the highlight reel. That's what it is, the highlight reel. And I've seen it switch from the highlight reel to more of the real reel, where people
Yeah.
are posting about, if they have acne, or if they have stretch marks, or if they aren't as toned as they appear, and all this stuff. And it's so beautiful. And I don't know if this is true, but I read something about you being one of the only girls in the magazine to have kinky hair. I went to, like, I'm not even kidding you, 4 different places to find the magazine. New Albany, Indiana. We need to do better, people, because I don't know if it's because they don't want kids grabbing it from the shelves and like looking at attractive
uh,
women. Or what. I mean, we're kind of conservative, but we can, come on. So yeah, I just want to know, like, were you one of the only girls, or how'd you get your confidence? Because they're like mowing my lawn right now. I don't know if you can hear it. Sorry guys, if you can. But yeah, how did you get the confidence to rock that hair? Because I know some people lack the confidence to wear their natural hair.
yes. Oh my God, it was such a journey. So actually, I've only had this afro for 3 years.
Okay.
I shaved all my hair off in 2017. It was a moment where I was tired of my hair always breaking, because I've been relaxing my hair since I was 8 years old.
Mm.
And I can't recall the way my hair looked before that, because my mom always had it in these beautiful hairstyles.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I decided to cut all of my hair off, it was nerve-wracking, because I looked awkward as hell. Like, my ugly stage was probably a year and a half long before I was like, okay, I can actually rock this and not wear a wig. But when I first tried out for Sports Illustrated, I really wanted to go there with like my full authentic self. In my audition reel, I did tell them like I love switching up my hair. I like showed them a video of like my afro, and I showed them a video of my wigs, but I ultimately wanted to show up there, you know, and go all out if it was my one and only try, full, you know, 100% Tanay. And I think that's what helped me to, you know, sort of catch the eyes of the editor, because you don't really, especially in the magazine, there isn't too much of a history of women with kinky hair in the magazine. So fast forward, my hair's grown, and you know, when it came time to shoot in Turks and Caicos, they asked me, hey, by the way, how's your hair gonna be? And I was like, hey, I'm gonna wear my afro. And they're like, okay, awesome, just to make sure they had like, you know, the right products and stuff. But I felt really empowered to, you know, be in this magazine with my kinky hair, not only because we have only seen maybe a handful of women who have been in the issue with it, but also because I feel like it's still looked down upon. And like you see like news articles of some schools where they will literally expel a child or suspend a child if she has her afro out, or even if she has braids in her hair. And I think it's growing out of your head. Like what is there to be ashamed of? And I feel like now more than ever, especially in today's age, we need to see more women who look like the women we see in the world. Women have afros, women have straight hair, women have kinky hair, women have soft hair, women have curls, you know, like, and so I feel honored to represent that, not only just as a Black woman, but a dark-skinned Black woman who has a gigantic afro. So I really hope that little girls are inspired and see, you know, they're visible, they're seen, they're heard, and they're beautiful.
Yeah, I love it. You rock it. I always envy people that have beautiful like afro hair or like super curly, big, voluptuous hair. Like, I mean, my hair is pretty voluptuous, but like my hair is never going to be able to do what your hair is doing right now.
Well, I'll tell you something. This hair is high maintenance. There's not a single day that I'm like, you know what, maybe I should just go back to straight hair. Like, I spend so much money on leave-in conditioner, shampoo, conditioner, hair oils, this, that. And then you have to like go through this whole trial and error phase, because like a product that might work for her hair isn't working for your hair.
Right.
Your hair has a different porosity, so it's just not vibing. And next thing you know, you have like these flakes in your hair, and now you gotta wash your hair again. That takes 2 hours. Like, it's a whole process. Like, you really have to be committed.
Yeah. Okay, so how did you even get to learning how to maintain it? Because I've worked with a bunch of little girls before with my title, and they talk about the biggest struggle in their life is dealing with their hairs. Like the Black girls talk about, I don't know how to do my hair correctly. And I'm like, I wish I could help you, but I don't really know either. So how did you even figure it out?
YouTube. Honestly, God, YouTube is my Bible. I YouTubed like first I YouTubed Big Chop, how to give yourself a big chop, how to chop off all your hair off, what to do after that. And then I researched protective styles like braids and wigs and stuff like that. But YouTube has really been my saving grace, because when you see other people testing it out, you're able to then form your own opinion about if you want to go out and purchase it for yourself. And then also sometimes just walking down the hair aisle and looking at a product that may, you know, hey, you know, that might actually work for my hair. Let me try it. Like, it's a lot. I mean, it's definitely going to take it's going to pinch your wallet a little bit, but it's really a process. And after that, also, when people start seeing your hair out on the street, they'll stop you and they'll be like, hey girl, wait, what do you use in your hair? Or vice versa. I've stopped so many girls like, your hair is so shiny, my hair is so dry, please tell me what you use. So I think that there's like a huge community around, you know, hair and how to make sure it works for you.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's funny. I feel like asking people on the street is like such an underrated thing, because I'm one of those people that also stops people. I'm like, hey, where'd you get that? What you wearing?
Yes. What are you eating? I like that.
Right. Oh, that's the best one. Cause then you get to see, I like seeing my food before I eat it. Like when I'm at a restaurant and they like bring out the food, I'm always like going to the bathroom to just look at other people's plates just to see if I like anything.
Yes, I do that. And honestly, before I was a model, my entire Instagram was all pictures of food.
That's funny.
Like, they're all archived now, but if I show you like a screenshot, you'd be like, wow.
Well, at first Instagram was just like, I thought it was just like an editing app for your photos. I didn't realize people could see the photos you were taking. like, oh, I remember in high school, I like took some weird pictures and I was like, oh, people can see those. Like my high school, I'm not saying it was ghetto, but it was an interesting place. And there was like a used condom like on the ground. I remember like that was one of the pictures that I took. And then I was like, oh my gosh, people can see that. That's awkward. Yeah. So then that's when I realized Instagram is not just for editing your photos.
That's right.
Yeah.
Is that picture still up on your Instagram?
Oh no, it's long gone. I think when I realized my friend like said something to me a few days later at school, I was like, oh my gosh, you follow me on what? It was beyond me. It's still beyond me. Like how much we've evolved into a social media focused society. It's insane. Like I'm sure some modeling agencies have asked you like, or brands have asked you like, how many followers do you have before they book you?
When I go to castings, that's nearly always the first question. Or if you like fill out their little questionnaire, it'll be like name, age, Instagram, how many followers. Like it's crazy. And I feel like because of that, people feel so much pressure to live that perfect facade on social media. But in reality, we're all struggling. We already know that. We are all struggling. And then on top of that, if anything, with COVID happening, like you start to see how many of like these big influencers actually really don't have it the way they had it before.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's very true. And also, it's just like there's so much that you can edit in a photo. And I've been like, I lived in LA for a little bit and I remember going to this like huge influencer party with like, you name it, YouTuber or Instagram person, like they were there. And I remember seeing these people and I was like, wait, you're the same girl in that. What? I was like, oh, I was like, you are catfishing everyone out there, girlfriend. I was like, you making a lot of money from it. So good for you. But like, and so like comparing yourself is like, it's stupid. I've kind of like unfollowed people that made me feel bad or
Yes.
didn't. Yeah. And it's really helped. Or, I mean, it could be either way. Like someone might be too positive, like acting like everything in their life is perfect. And that's not healthy either because you're looking at them like there's never anything wrong. And then you're like, but in my life, and it's like, it's stupid. So if anybody's listening, just follow whoever makes you happy. And if someone ever makes you just like start feeling bad, like just cut them. Or if it's your friend, what's it called? Like shadow them or something.
Yes.
I've had to
Preach.
do that with some of my friends. I'm like,
Yes, I mute a lot of people. Like, and I feel like too, like there's like another pressure where it's like if I know you, you feel like I am required to follow you, but your page is just full of like these really offensive memes. Like I don't have to follow you, but if like you're someone who like I really am like near and dear with, yeah, I'll just mute you.
Yeah, I've had to because sometimes I'm just some of the content I'm like what there's no substance here. I'm not laughing. I'm not, like there's nothing.
Right, and I scroll past. I don't even like your photo. I just literally scoff and scroll. That's
Right.
no, it's time to unfollow them.
Right. But it's like, oh, I like you as a person. Like, why can't you put the person on your page like you are? Like,
Yes.
Whatever. But speaking of Instagram, you work with SheFit.
I do.
Yeah. I love them.
SheFit fam.
I know. Hey. They're the nicest people. Or Sarah. Her name's Sarah. She's so kind. She's like, do you feel confident? Like, how do you like the bra? I'm like, I love it, girl. Like, thanks. I'm like, my titties are taken care of.
I'm obsessed with SheFit. Like, when they asked to partner with me, I'm like, sure. Like, if you want, like, I'm not really anybody. Like, okay. And I started, like, what they sent in their products. And I'm like, whoa, holy shit. Like, this is really good shit. And then when they came out with their leggings, like I was sold because the leggings, they're not only are they high-waisted, but they cinching your waist. So you don't have to worry about, having a little bit of a pooch.
Right.
And then on top of that, I don't know how they do it, but I always feel like my butt is getting lifted. I don't know.
I think it's the material. The material like shows every like good part of your legs. Like when I'm working out, I'm like literally all I see are the muscles and like
yeah, that the material and some magic.
Yeah, they put magic in there. So anybody's listening to this, our advertisements are real. We really do like, we really do
really like them.
Yeah. Because I remember when I first got them, I was like, I don't know, like, okay, I'll rock it. And then I did. And I was like, I can run in this. I was like, oh my gosh,
Yes.
Lord. Because
Yes. I
titties.
actually, sometimes I'll even sleep in them if I'm a little lazy, but they're so comfortable. I'll sleep in the flex ones, like the ones that are like a little more soft. Wait, let me pull it up.
The plush ones.
Yes, girl. Like the ones that are this material. You know what I'm talking
Oh
about?
yes. And yep,
I
the
think
plush. Yep.
yes. So good.
Yeah,
I
those are
love it.
good. I love those. That's funny. Do you work with any other brands, or is that the only brand you're really working with right now? Or are you kind of like testing out the, like, I guess I don't like calling it influencer. We'll call it content creator. The content creation
There we go.
phase.
Yes. There's a few I'm considering. Obviously a lot of swimwear brands have started reaching out to me.
Nice.
But I don't want to, the only thing that I don't like about necessarily being a swimwear person is the fact that it comes with a lot of creepy comments and followers. I'm sure you've had this experience as well, and that's something that I really have like no tolerance for whatsoever. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the other day, some man like sent, I posted a picture of one of my Sports Illustrated previews, and he said, hey, yeah, those are a nice size, referring to my boobs. And I immediately blocked him. Like, you just really have to be respectful. It doesn't matter if I'm in a thong. It doesn't matter if I'm in a one piece. It doesn't matter if my shoulder's showing or my ass is showing. Talk with me with respect. And if you don't have good intentions following me or looking at my pictures, you gotta go. So I feel like that comes when you are posting, you know, even with my She Fit stuff, I'll get some strange comments. So I don't want to reveal too much of myself all the time.
Right. I think it's all about balance, because I'm the same way. I mean, I was living in LA and I just started posting bikini pics a lot because, one, I was like always in the hot heat in a pool somewhere, and two, that was what got the most engagement.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I want to gain my following, but then someone that followed me for years was like, hey, Letty, like, I really love you and I'm always going to support you, but I see like you're going down this road and like I really have high expectations for you. Like, I think that you could be doing better. And I was like, that comment just like really got to me, because I was like, I don't think they were trying to be offensive and like saying like you're posting a lot of your body and your bikini pics, but they were really like, it was like honestly what a good friend would tell me. Like, you don't have to do that to be successful. Like, you can post different things to be successful. So that was like my wake up call to like, yo, put some clothes on.
Yeah, and I think I'm moving into that phase too. And I think that when the whole process with Sports Illustrated started with me, I felt like I sort of had to like keep up with the image. Like, if I'm going to be a swimsuit model, let me post swimsuit stuff. But then I started seeing what came when you post the swimsuit stuff. So then I was like, okay, let's restructure this strategy and try another way, but we can still sprinkle a little bit in there. And then, you know, make sure we add some words of wisdom, and we got the whole package going.
Yeah, because I think it's good to show people that like you have confidence in anything, not just posting a picture that you know will get a lot of likes. Like, you have confidence in something like, shoot, like you can go out in a plastic bag and like be smiling and rock that confidence, you know, like, because being in the Sports Illustrated magazine is all about rocking who you are and your confidence, which is why I love them, because yes, it's such a sexy magazine. Like, everyone in there is looking nice, but it's also highlighting the women and what they care about and who they are.
Yes. And I think a lot of people overlook that piece of the magazine. Like, we're not
the women don't.
Yes, the women don't, right. The men, it's the men.
But they're getting better. It's getting better. Yeah. It is.
I think the more we talk about it, and what I love that the magazine is doing now is every time they post a picture, they'll post a story about the model. And so it's almost like you're forced to see it. You're forced to read it. You can't just look at our ass and tits. You got to hear what we got to say coming out of our mouth as well. So I really enjoy that. And I also think it helps you to get to know the model better, because like back in the 90s, it was like we put these supermodels on this pedestal that we'll never reach. But now it's like no, like, I'm just like you. Let's, you know, have this community of upliftment and levity, as they say, and, you know, really come and support each other and love each other. And you can aspire to be me, and I can aspire to have some of the things you have. Like, it's more
Mhm.
communal now more than ever, which I
Yeah.
really, really love.
I love it too. I remember, so I didn't really meet you at the Sports Illustrated Top 60. Like, you were
Remember?
there, but you know how everyone kind of like had their little places that they had to be and mingle with who they had to mingle with. But it was so uplifting. Like, just being there motivated me to be a better person. If that sounds so corny and cheesy, but it literally showed me like there are women out there that want everyone to succeed, and everyone wants you to chase your dreams and goals, and like everyone being there for the same purpose to accomplish their goals and dreams to inspire others was inspiring in itself.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I didn't expect it from such an organization who's like so big and badass. But
Right.
I think that anytime, at least the 2 years I've gone, anytime I've gone, I've always come out feeling like I can conquer the world.
100%. And it was amazing also talking with all of the supermodels like Winnie Harlow, Olivia Culpo, um, Golden Barbie, and they were just real people. Like the stuff that people think about them are they're like, oh my gosh, that's like, there's no way, like blah, blah, blah. These people have also gone through struggles too.
Right.
And
That's so true.
yeah, and I think hearing from them was just, and they loved sharing it with us. Like you could tell how passionate they were with their fluctuation of their voice and in their eyes, and they're like,
Mhm.
"You guys, you're here. You're here in the top 60. Like you have so much potential. You're so close." They're like, "We had to try for years and years and years." And they're like, "It doesn't happen overnight." And I think whoever's listening to this, like, this is your sign. Keep going. It's not going to happen overnight.
Do it. Keep going. Don't give up. I agree with you. I think one, especially last year, one of the my favorite people who spoke was Halima.
Mm.
He is such a ball of energy. Like,
He's
I
so
didn't
cool.
even see that coming. Like, she is just so vivacious and fun, and like, she's really for you. Like, when she's speaking to you, she's all about you. And I love that she's all about upliftment. And same with the other girls you were saying. Like, I feel like through that experience, it's like one big sleepover minus the
Yes.
sleepover. Like, you just
Yes.
have girl talk, you kiki, goof around, play in makeup, take a photo. Like, it's a really
Literally.
awesome, uplifting woman's experience.
Yeah. But I was in, did you know there was like a room where they were filming people, like you would go upstairs and be filmed? Like it was okay, so that room, we were all like sitting around crying, like telling the most emotional stories. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that's awesome. It was like it was great because we also didn't really know each other before being put in this room together. You
Right.
would think like 60 women that are all wanting the same thing are going to just tear each other apart or like, try and be the best. But no, it was like we can all be our best versions of ourselves.
Yes. It was amazing. I agree with you.
It was.
And a lot of the women who I've met from both the years are like some of my closest friends now.
Yeah. Same. I'm like, I was still talking with one of the girls and she was in the top 60 as well, but we were both like, oh my gosh, when is the magazine coming out? Who do you think it's going to be? I'm so excited. And I was like, we know the people that are going to be in it. Like, how cool is that?
I
And
feel like it always feels so much better when you know the person who's in the magazine or going like closer to being in the magazine.
100% plus now, like we could follow all along. Like we could see, when you made top 17, when you made top 6, like how you're feeling. Oh my gosh, you're shooting, what was it, like Turks and Caicos? You're
Yes.
shooting Turks and Caicos. Oh my goodness, you had a great looking dinner that one night. Oh my gosh, you guys were making TikToks. Like now that we could follow along, like I feel like all of you are like, I feel like I kind of know all of you, honestly. Like because we were with like you through the whole journey, even though we weren't, like part of the thing, we were like part of the beginning, which made it feel like we were part of the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
You
it's
guys,
exciting.
yeah, you guys technically were because we document everything. We post it on IG for you guys all to see. So like you really were with us.
Yeah. True. 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 Because then you can talk with people and be like, you were there. Isn't that so weird how social media, like you talk with people that you haven't seen or even never met, or kind of met, but like not really, you know, whatever. But like talk to them as if you knew
Yeah.
exactly what was going on.
Yeah. I think oh, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. It lagged again. I think that some of the people who I talk to the most now are people who I only met those 2 days in Miami. Like we like text each other constantly or are messaging each other
Mhm.
constantly, and it's like, well, I talk to my like childhood best friend once a week. Well,
Right.
every other week. But I think that's the beauty of social, those that's one of the good things about social media, is that it can really bring you and connect you with other people in ways that you wouldn't have otherwise.
Right. And it's a way to find people that are searching or like on their way to the same goal that you want, to help build each other up. Because a lot of my friends honestly are from social media, and I just like DM them and like, oh my gosh, you're so cool. And like, when I come to this city, I want to meet up. And they're like, okay, let's do it. And then I meet them and we're like super close friends. And like one girl, I met her one time and we're like, okay, let's go to where is it? Thailand together. And we're like, okay, cool. Like through Instagram, she literally like messaged me and was like, hey, like I would love for you to be in a YouTube video with me. And I was like, cool. And then we met and we're like, yeah, this is awesome.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So social media, like what, like we
To
said, don't,
network.
yeah,
It helps you network. Yeah.
network. Yes. Yes. Have you ever gotten any jobs from Instagram for modeling wise?
Let me think. I don't think I have. I think everything has been through social media.
Yeah.
But I do think my Instagram helps when a client is considering me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Your Instagram looking nice.
Thanks. I try hard.
Yeah. There's a lot of work that goes into it too. It's like,
Yes, it's really stressful. And honestly, if I wasn't a model and this wasn't like required as a part of being a model, I
mhm.
probably wouldn't even have Instagram, because I feel like there's just so much pressure. Like not even just from like a wanting to keep up with the Joneses and like keep up with, you know, the looks and the
Right.
image, but like
Right.
when you're a model, like you're expected to post consistently
Mhm.
and, you know, make sure that, you know, every pimple is hidden and every hair is in place, and like share a lot, share something, but not too much, and
Mm.
talk, but don't talk too much. Like, it's just like you're always trying to find this fine line to
Right.
appease not only yourself, but the people who are looking at you, like potential clients, your agents, friends and family. Like, it's just so much pressure.
Right. But like you said, at the end of the day, like being you, and why you got chosen for Sports Illustrated is because you were yourself and you wanted to show up 100% authentically yourself. And I think that's the same thing with social media. Like at the end of the day, like one bad Instagram picture isn't going to ruin everything, or one like amazing picture isn't going to blow you up. Like Instagram's so hard to grow on nowadays. It's ridiculous.
It is. Yeah. I can't lie. I've even had to buy followers at one point because I was like, okay, let me keep up. Let me keep up. But
Yeah, I know a lot of people that have, and like some big accounts too. Like people are like, "Oh my gosh, like how many followers this person has? They have like 600,000." And I'm like, "Why do they have 600,000 and only get like 1,000 likes? You know, that's not real.
yes.
It's
Yes.
not real."
And that, I think that's why it's like so uncool to like buy followers now, because you can tell when they're bought. Like, do
Yeah.
you know, like you'll see like a clothing line and they'll have like 50,000 followers, but then they literally only have 20 likes on every picture, and it's like, come on,
Girl,
just up
100%.
it.
Yes, I see that. Also, modeling agencies,
Yes.
they do that too. Like every
Yes.
modeling agency, you look them up, they have hundreds of thousands of followers and they get like 500 likes. I'm like, y'all, like
Yes. We
it's
all are
okay.
guilty. Everybody.
Right, right. Okay, so what's next for you? Like in the modeling world and your world, like what are you trying to do next?
I really want to be a part of New York Fashion Week.
Ooh.
I don't think it's going to happen this year. I think I saw an article saying it's going to be postponed until next year, but I
Mm,
would love to be in a runway. Some of my favorite designers are the Tommy Hilfiger fashion show. I love the fact
mm.
that his is always like a retro feel. So I feel like my afro would be like perfect fit. Come on, put me in there. Um,
Yes.
Laquan Smith. I love Pat McGrath and her beauty products. A Fenty show, like killing the
Girl, you
oh,
would kill it in a Fenty show.
Come on, let's speak it into existence right now. Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm happy and I'm excited to see what's to come. I don't know if anything's gonna come too soon, just given COVID. But I'm just excited. We got time.
We do. And it's plus, I feel like this is like a rebirth period. Like whatever has been in your life that you didn't like, or it's time to just kind of like recreate the best version of yourself. Like there's so much craziness going on, but if you tone that out and start using the law of attraction to just get what you want and start focusing on the positive things, your life is going to change. I feel so hippie-ish now because I watched this video or show or whatever on Netflix, and it was talking about the great secret of being happy and like becoming rich or accomplishing what you want to accomplish, and it's the law of attraction. So that's what
Wait, what's it called?
It's called The Greatest Secret. The Great Secret. It's on Netflix. You should watch it. It's pretty old. I think it's like 20 years old, and it is a little bit cheesy, but it has like great points. And I'm one of those people that when I watch something, like write stuff down. So I was like watching it and I was like, yeah, that's right. And it's actually helped a lot because during the whole COVID and the whole like Black Lives Matter movement, I was really stressed just looking at social media and everything going on. And I was just kind of like bumming out because you might see something positive and the next minute you see something negative and you're just like, your brain is like, what do I want to feel today? And so watching that, it made me realize like you will attract happiness if that's what you put out. And so when I started doing that, like everything went back to normal. I was like, oh, I feel good again. Like I feel like myself, even though stuff is still going on. Like I'm attracting what I want to see rather than letting other things affect how I feel.
Yeah, I felt the same way. It was such a tricky situation, especially for me.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like as a Black person, I had to make sure I shared every single injustice that is coming out.
Right.
But in the same breath, I'm stressed. And because I'm an empath, like I'm an introvert and I'm an empath. So when I see others hurting, I feel that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt physically like I was suffering much like that person. And so I actually had to take a little brief hiatus from social media. And if I did go on social media, I wouldn't allow myself to scroll for more than 10 minutes because it was just bringing me down health-wise. Like I just couldn't. I was sad and I didn't know why. I was angry and I didn't know why. Like it's such a tricky time right now.
Right.
But sort of like you, I'm just trying to share, more awareness, like, hey, equality for all, and, love others how you want to be loved and treat others how you want to be treated. And like you said, I feel like when you put that out, you'll get that back. And those feelings sort of trickle away.
100%. Like, sounds so cheesy, like, world peace, but like love everyone, like spread love. But honestly, like love is the only thing that's going to change this negativeness. So if you just spread love, what else can happen? Just love can happen.
Yes.
So,
It's sort of hard to keep like a loving demeanor though when you have like negativity coming at you.
That's true.
It's just a test of patience. It's just got to take in a breath and then handle it accordingly.
I feel that. That is true. It's so easy to say, but so hard to execute sometimes, especially when people come at you. And I'm sure people come at people for all kinds of reasons. There's trolls on the internet like no other. But I always like to end my podcast with the guest's favorite quote. So
my favorite quote. It was actually on Tumblr when Tumblr was. It said, it was something along the lines of, it doesn't matter how slow you go as long as you don't stop.
I like that.
I feel like, especially in today's age, we all feel like we have this pressure on ourselves to like be rich and famous by the time we're 25 and have kids and have a happy life and have the big house all before you hit 35. Like it doesn't, like, there's no pressure. Just keep going and don't stop. The only way you can fail is if you stop, and if you quit, you fail. But if you keep going, no matter how much, it could just be a baby step. One thing here today, one thing here tomorrow. It might be one here this month, and another month you'll do something else. But as long as you keep going, you're good. Everything will come to you.
Yes, I love that 100%. That reminded me of that picture of the person digging away at the
Yes. And the diamonds were at the end. Yes.
I was like, yeah, like literally once you said that, that was the picture in my mind. I was like, keep digging.
Yes. Don't stop. I wish you went a little further.
I know. Oh, thank you so much. Like, this was awesome. I loved hearing everything about like Sports Illustrated to the mental health, like advocate from you and just social media, like everything. It was awesome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. This is my first podcast ever, so this is really cool.
Yay. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. You did so great. Like, amazing. Yes. Yes. Okay, one more thing. Sorry. Any words of advice to anybody else when they're wanting to go after something, but they're scared to, because you quit your 9 to 5, which has a lot of balls. Like, you have to have a lot of balls to be able to do that. So if someone's wanting to do something else, but they're scared because of their security or what their parents or family or friends might say, what do you have to say towards them?
I would say, firstly, don't be scared and don't have fear. The only thing you have to fear is God, and God has your back always. So eliminate that feeling. Next, make a game plan. Have a form of a system, so you know what you're going to be doing day by day or week by week, whatever the plan may be, whatever the goal may be, because you can't just sort of step out on a limb and just sort of wing it. It's never a wing it process for anybody. If you wing it, you're going to fail. But if you just have some form of structure, it could even just be a 1, 2, 3. 1, stop eating bad food. 2, go to the gym. 3, smile. Like, that's all you need to do. And with that, you'll be on your way to getting the goal that you want to achieve.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I'm so excited for your picture in the magazine. I need to find a place that has it.
I hope you
because
find one.
I think I might like order one online. I'm going to order like all 4 of them too. I know they came out with all the different, what are they called? Covers. And so I'm like, wow, I'm really about to buy 4 magazines now. Y'all bamboozled me into it.
Yes, I bought all 4 and they're each $10. So get ready for that.
All right. My bank account is preparing itself now as we speak. Mindset. All right. Well, thank you again for coming on. You're awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Hey guys, thank you so much for listening or watching. However you're getting this, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, please rate us if you haven't yet. 5 stars would be preferred, but I hope you guys have a great day. Much love, peace, and blessings.